Welcome to VHS Voyage, where we are on a journey to find, watch, and discuss movies on VHS that we've never seen or never knew existed. I'm Matt.
I'm Devin.
And in today's episode, we're going to talk about
Monkeyshines.
So today we're going to talk about a movie called Monkeyshines, and it is very interesting, let's just say that. But before we start talking about the movie proper, Devin, hit us with some facts and information about Monkeyshines.
Okay, hold on. You gotta get down, girl.
Dog troubles, folks, bear with us.
So this is written and directed by George A Romero. All right, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
This makes no sense.
Okay.
Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead,
Yeah.
Land of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Diary of the Dead, Survival of the Dead.
He did a lot of zombie movies.
Well, he did more than that. They just, for some reason, these are called the Dead movies.
Yeah.
He also did Creepshow Amusement Park and The Crazies, the original one. Also, for the gamers out there, from the Zombies map called The Dead, one of the best Zombies maps on Call of Duty ever. Basically, these actors are making a movie with George A Romero, and it's actual real actors. I can't remember who the characters are, but you get sucked, George A Romero, and you actually get sucked into a real zombie world.
Oh, really?
And you're like on a George A Romero set. Which is one of the best Zombies maps. So much fun. IMDb with 12,000 reviews or ratings.
Okay. IMDb, I'm going to go with 5.5.
It's actually higher than that. I was surprised it was higher.
6.4.
6.2.
6.2. Okay.
Not bad. Not too bad.
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes critic and audience is available.
All right, Rotten Tomatoes critic, I'm going to say 40.
Higher.
53.
55.
55. Okay. User, I'm going to say 62.
Much lower.
41.
It's 40.
40. Okay.
So the audience was lower than the critic score. I'm just going to go through these actors real quick because it's funny. The side characters are the known actors in this movie.
Right?
So,
yeah.
Jason Becky, John Pankow, Kate McNeil, and Boo the Capuchin, which is the monkey. So the known actors in this are actually Stanley Tucci, which you might know from Hunger Games, Spotlight, Terminal, Devil Wears Prada, Lovely Bones, real creepy in that, and Stephen Root, or Stephen, I don't know how it's pronounced.
It's Stephen.
Okay, yeah. He's from Get Out, Finding Nemo, Office Space, Dodgeball, Barry, and this was actually his first movie.
Really?
Yeah, so he was a stage actor, and this was his first movie.
You know what's funny? When I saw him in this movie, because I've been watching Barry recently, so I've been seeing him a lot in Barry. He looks almost the same, dude.
Yeah, they also, have you noticed in all of his movies, they give him these obnoxious glasses?
Yes, obnoxious glasses every time.
How did he get that in his first movie? Office Space wasn't even out yet. Dodgeball, he has it. Yeah. And in Get Out, he's blind.
Yeah, right.
So it's like the opposite.
Very odd.
Apparently, this has gained a cult following from Romero fans because it's like his most offbeat movie of what he usually does.
That makes sense.
So this has gained like a cult following over the years, and like Shout Factory or Scream Factory, whatever it is, did a Blu-ray release of this.
Okay.
This might be one of my favorite quotes ever.
Okay.
This was in the fun facts section, of the movie. One of the few films to ever depict quadriplegic sex.
We're going to talk about that in a little bit.
That's an actual quote. One of the few films to ever depict quadriplegic sex. Wow. I laughed my ass off when I read that. It was in quotations and everything.
And we're going to talk about that more in a little bit.
Yeah. So this was George's first studio movie, and he's kind of outspoken about this movie, about how they changed a lot of the stuff that he did, cut scenes and stuff like that. They said the shooting was brutal and extensive because they filmed with a live monkey. They said it was awful. It was a male monkey, so that made it way harder because apparently it was like pissing all over stuff and like doing things like that. They usually use female animals in all movies.
I saw something, I think it was on Letterboxd. I saw something when I was logging the movie where somebody said something about this monkey pulled shit out of its ass and like smeared it on George A. Romero or something. We have our main character, Alan. He's a fitness guru, which we'll talk more about in a little bit because there's some funny stuff involving that. And he's in an accident. And in the accident, he becomes paralyzed from the neck down and becomes a quadriplegic. He can only move his head. So throughout the course of that, he has a friend that works in a lab at a college, and he does experiments on monkeys to try to make them smarter. And part of his experiment is injecting the monkeys with some kind of concoction made out of a human brain and who knows what else to try to make them smarter. Well, one of the monkeys he takes to a monkey trainer a monkey trainer that trains monkeys to help people that are quadriplegics in order to train Ella, the monkey that was experimented on, to go to Alan's house and help him just live out his daily life as normal. But the friend has ulterior motives because he is doing it as an experiment to see if he can actually see if the monkey is getting stronger. And basically the monkey starts to become psychotic. Alan has some kind of psychic telepathic connection with the monkey that brings out his inner rage, and then the movie kind of culminates from there in people dying, which we'll talk more about in a minute. But that's essentially the story of the movie in a nutshell. Let's start with one good thing about the movie first. Okay. The monkey scenes were impressive.
Yeah.
The monkey scenes were impressive because, like Devin said earlier, they did use a live monkey in the movie, and that had to have been a nightmare. So this monkey did a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Like, clearly this was a highly trained monkey, and just seeing it do all this stuff like cooking food and putting cassette tapes in a cassette player and just all this crazy stuff was pretty impressive. So that part was impressive. I enjoyed that. I think that might be the only good thing. I have to say.
I'm sitting there like,
I think that might be it. I think that might be the only good thing. All right, so Devin, talk about how the movie opens and how hilarious it is.
Okay, so the movie opens with a man and a woman naked in bed. He gets up out of the bed. He then begins to do naked yoga, even though what he's doing does not look like yoga. Right. It looks incredibly unnatural.
I think he was stretching, now that I think about it, because he went jogging.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's what he was doing. So he goes for a jog
with a backpack full of bricks. That's where the bricks came from.
What?
Yeah, dude, he had a backpack full of bricks because he wanted to be weighted down while he jogged. That's where the bricks came.
Well, I'll explain what I thought the bricks were here in a second.
Okay.
A dog comes running out of a yard, scares the man to run into the road, and then he gets hit by a truck.
Yep.
He then proceeds to go flying in the air. He does a spin move in the air. Also, the cut was horrible. The truck is there for 5 seconds, and then you see the man flying. They should have had the truck there, and then he immediately goes flying.
And also, that's not the way he was flying in the air is not how it happens when somebody gets hit by a vehicle.
And I started laughing my ass off because of the bricks. I thought the bricks were part of something that the truck hit, but now that I know they're in their backpack, yep, it's 10 times worse.
Yeah.
It's 10 times worse.
Yep.
We laughed our ass off.
Oh, it was so funny.
We laughed our ass off.
It was so funny.
And then right after that, it shows him in the hospital getting surgery. Do you want to say the line?
Immediately cuts from this horrible scene where he gets hit by a vehicle, really, and gets injured very badly, to him being operated on in the hospital. And the first thing that's said is the surgeon says, Martha, his ass is hairier than yours, or something like that.
Yep.
Yep. Good. Now we can talk about him. Oh my God, Martha, his ass is even hairier than yours.
Yeah, because it's like this man has had a horrible thing happen to him. He's paralyzed, possibly dead, and they're making fun of his hairy ass.
Yep. So that's how the movie opens. Okay. So then, it goes on from there. Alan obviously is depressed. He's struggling. His mom's there taking care of him. His mom is extremely annoying, very clingy, extremely annoying. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but his mom's there is taking care of him. He's not very happy, because he doesn't think he's ever going to be able to walk again or use anything below the neck. So he attempts to commit suicide. He fails. Whenever he gets back to his house, that's when his friend brings Ella, the monkey, over that's been experimented on to help Alan with his day-to-day life, and she kind of revitalizes him. Brings some new life into him. He really starts to develop a bond with Ella because she's very helpful.
My biggest problem with the movie. How the hell is this man connected to the monkey?
Yeah.
Explain it to me.
Honestly, I can't explain it to you. So I get the experiment on the monkey trying to make the monkey smarter. Yeah. I get that. I get the monkey being smarter. Yeah. Okay. That can make sense. It makes sense out of that. But So basically what Devin's referring to is you come to find out about halfway through the movie or so that Alan has some kind of telepathic psychic connection with Ella. So sometimes when Ella leaves the house, he like goes into a trance and he can like see through her eyes from a first person perspective as she's running around in the grass, which by the way, those scenes were kind of cool, you know, little first person monkey moving scenes. It's never really explained how the hell that's possible. It's just some kind of supernatural phenomenon that they just threw in the movie. It was unnecessary. There was no reason, but I think I know why they did it, because they wanted to explain how Alan changes into a different person when this monkey's around because of this psychic connection, and it like brings out his rage and he becomes kind of psychotic.
Yeah. It is based off of a book, so maybe the book explains it more, but
yeah, right.
But it's not explained at all. I thought there was going to be some kind of big reveal that explained it. Never did. Yeah. Never explained it.
And so how the monkey becomes dangerous, because it gets smarter and smarter, develops more and more of a bond and connection with Alan. So anytime Alan feels anger and hate and rage towards somebody, the monkey feels the same thing. So Alan finds out that doctor, not only did that doctor steal his girlfriend, but that doctor also didn't do everything that he should have done during the surgery, and Alan could have potentially not been paralyzed. So when he finds this out, he fucking gets pissed. And then that's when the monkey kills its first people. So essentially, anytime the monkey becomes jealous of somebody else or Alan gets mad at somebody else, that person is in danger of dying. But there's some weird scenes in this movie, dude.
Yep.
Which one do you want to talk about first?
I'll let you take it, because I don't even want to talk about the one, but I'll talk about another one.
Okay, you want me to start with the sex scene?
Sure, go for it. Go for it.
Okay, so the monkey trainer, Alan develops a relationship and a bond with the monkey trainer. Okay, she's not paralyzed. Alan is, from the neck down. And at one point, she invites him to stay at her place for the weekend. And she's getting ready to put him to bed. She's getting ready to get him out of his chair and put him to bed. And he, you know, they have a little moment, and he goes into her chest with his head like he's trying to motorboat her or something while she has her clothes on. And then he's like, "I'm sorry, that was out of line." And then you see her, I'm sitting here looking at Devin, I'm like, no, this isn't about to happen, dude. This is not about to happen. She starts to unbutton her shirt. Okay, and then it cuts to Alan naked on was it a couch or a bed? It doesn't matter. He was a couch or a bed. He was naked on the bed, and there proceeds to be a quadriplegic sex scene with a non-quadriplegic, and it goes just about as how you think it would. He can only move his head, so you can use your imagination. Considering he can only move his head, you can use your imagination. I'm not going to go into graphic detail, but you can use your imagination and come to your own conclusion as to how that sex scene went. And it was awkward. So
it showed it.
It showed it.
It showed it.
It showed it.
Okay, because he is paralyzed from, is it neck down that he's paralyzed?
From the neck down, yep.
People have to bathe him.
Yes.
And his own mother bathes him and makes weird jokes.
Yes, so there is a scene where, so he has a nurse that's taking care of him, but eventually the nurse quits because Ella killed the nurse's bird, and Ella and Alan hate each other. They're always bitching and complaining at each other. So eventually the nurse quits after her bird gets killed by Ella. So his mom becomes his nurse essentially, and there's a scene where she's giving him a fucking sponge bath. His naked male hairy body, adult grown ass man, sitting there in this some hanging contraption above the bathtub, and she's fucking sponging him down, and he's like, "This is embarrassing," and she's like, "Oh, it's not like it's nothing I've ever seen before." Okay, if he was a kid, she could say that, sure, but he's a fucking grown ass man. Is she saying she's seen his grown ass man penis before?
I'm gonna let you, I'm not expanding anymore. I'll let you just keep going. I'll let you keep digging the hole deeper.
All right, I'm done.
Not saying nothing.
I'm done.
I just have like a list of unintentionally funny things that I wrote down.
Yes.
The fake beard that I thought was hilarious. The first time I saw that, I was like, oh, that's literally just a beard that they bought at a costume store and glued on his face. Yeah. This might be getting a little bit into spoiler territory, but again, with these movies, it doesn't really matter.
They're so old too.
When Jeffrey dies, he falls face first and dies. And then they take the camera into the room and he's completely in a different spot and now he's up like this.
Yeah.
That's obviously a continuity mistake that made no sense. I was like, wow, okay.
I want to mention a scene that I found to be hilarious.
Okay.
Okay, and you might have this on your list.
Oh no.
Alan is in the bed. Jeffrey's in the room with him, and they're talking about his girlfriend. And Jeffrey says to Alan, and it's a very serious scene. Jeffrey says to Alan, "If she walks out on you, fuck her." And Alan looks at Jeffrey and he goes, "I can't." And then it pauses for a second, and then the scene ends.
I'm not laughing, I swear. I'm not laughing. I am not laughing at the paralyzed man, okay? I am not. Hold on. I'm not laughing at the paralyzed man that got killed by getting hit by a car. It's not funny.
If she walks out on you now, fuck her. I can't.
Yeah.
And we should not be laughing at this, Matt.
We're laughing at the way that the movie presented people, right? The way the movie presented quadriplegics was, I feel like it was a little ridiculous.
We're so screwed. We're so screwed.
And the cinematography, I mean, it was okay. It was.
Yeah, there were some scenes where the camera was connected to the chair and you were looking at.
That was, yeah.
What's the main character's name?
Alan.
You're like looking at Alan like this while he's moving. Those were okay.
Yeah.
So
the movie was too long.
Oh, so I meant to say that this movie is so long,
almost
way
2
too
hours.
long. It takes way too long to actually really get into what's happening.
Yes,
it's like it's maybe even like the 50 to the hour mark where things really like start happening, and you realize the monkey's kind of a killer.
Because you remember, I turned around and I was like, "Is this supposed to be a horror movie?"
Yeah,
because it just takes so long. There's no horror or any tension built up at all until way late in the movie. So the pacing is definitely off.
And the fact that Romero said they cut scenes that means this dude had a long movie.
Yeah.
It did not need to be long. It's about a monkey that is brain connected to a paralyzed man. Yeah. Do you realize how ridiculous that sentence sounds?
It's pretty ridiculous, dude. I think it's safe to say that this is not a keep it, because this is not something that I'm ever going to watch again. I will never forget watching it, though, I'll tell you that much. So, you know what that means, folks. Since it's not a keeper, we will be giving this one away. And this is one that you guys will probably be interested in entering the giveaway for, because not only is it a George Romero movie, it's an obscure George Romero movie. And I feel like this is a tape that you're not likely to find out in the wild. I feel like this one's pretty rare. As a matter of fact, I think it's like upwards of 10 to 20 bucks on eBay. So if you want to enter the giveaway for Monkeyshines, you can do that on the Instagram page, VHS.Voyage. There will be a link to that in the description down below. You will have 1 week from the day this video goes up to enter the giveaway. Very simple to enter. You don't have to pay for shipping or anything like that. So if you're interested in entering that, hop on over to the Instagram page. All right, that is it for today's episode of VHS Voyage on Monkeyshines. I'm Matt.
I'm Devin.
We'll catch you guys in the next episode.